Scare Me by K.R. Alexander, Chapter 2. Mr. Evans holds open the front door for us as we lug our first load of decorations inside. Today is for scouting out the space. We've got papers and pens to plot the layout and decide what exactly we need. Tomorrow my dads will bring it all to the manor in their truck. That way we'll only have the necessities and can get right to work. I kind of have this down to a science. Thank you, Mr. Evans, I say as we pass by. Of course, children. Do you already have something scary dreamed up for this year? I smile to my friends. Oh, we've had this figured out since last Thanksgiving. Mr. Evans chuckles as he guides us down the hall. He honestly looks as old as the manor, if not older. He has wispy white hair and round fat wire-framed glasses and always wears suspenders. He looks old and frail, but something about him says he will live on forever. I expect nothing less from the Bloody Banshees. You were so close to winning last year. I bet you'll take the gold this time around. If you'd follow me, I know you know where to go, but I'll show you to the basement. The long hallway is carpeted in plush, well-treated crimson, and the faded coral wallpapers have turned yellow over the years. The air in here distinctly smells of lemon cleaner, mothballs, and dust. It's a smell I've started associating with Halloween. Antique Cheerios and bookshelves line the hall, and above them are photos from our town's past, farmers in the field, a gathering at town hall, that sort of thing. One of them catches my eye. It's a photo from ages ago, and the woman in white stares down at us unhappily. It must be a trick of the light, but I swear she scowls at me. Despite the creepy warmth of the hall, shivers wash over my skin, but instead of creeping me out, it makes me smile. I mean, I know the picture didn't move. The fact that my imagination is already geared up for scare mode has me excited. I love that feeling. This is going to be a great year. The feeling of excitement and chills intensifies as we get closer to the basement. We pass by an open room that is currently an explosion of boxes and costumes. The masked mummies have already started setting up their creepy funhouse. I nod at them and smile, since my hands are holding a box of mannequin plastic skeletons, and they wave back. Except for my rivalry with the monster mashers, I try to stay friendly with the competition. Mr. Evans opens the door to the basement for us as our feet creak on the wooden steps as we walk down. The air dropping 10 degrees the moment we pass the door. My smile widens. The basement is already creepy. Concrete floors and flickering light, and low hanging air ducts and metal support pillars scattered about. It's damp and dusty and smells like a crypt, which is why it will make the perfect graveyard. I can already picture it. I'll put paper mache around the support pillars and turn them into trees and hang moss and cobwebs from the ducts, and we'll throw in some creepy lighting so everything looks moonlit. Then we'll gather some leaves and throw over the ground, and you're doing it again, Tanisha says. I snap out of it and look at her. What? Looking around like you're about to make this a whole heck of a lot more work than it needs to be. Despite her words, she's grinning. Tanisha loves building haunted houses almost as much as I do. What can I say? I'm inspired. The door clicks behind us. I didn't even hear Mr. Evans say goodbye. I was so caught up in my daydreams. You're always inspired, Julia says. Just because my friends are so inspiring, I reply. Julia and Tanisha both roll their eyes. What do we do first, boss? Julia asks. I set my box down by the steps. The basement is lit by a few bare bulbs hanging from the ceiling. Creepy, but too industrial for the ambience we're going for. For a split second, I considered changing our theme to some sort of abandoned warehouse torture chamber, but my eyes snare on something in the back corner. Dang it, I mutter, walking towards it. They were supposed to clean before we got here, because there, lurking in the shadows, is a pile of what I'm assuming is old junk, maybe posters or furniture from upstairs. Julia and Tanisha follow at my side as we near. When my eyes adjust, I see what shape it is. I shudder. Facing the wall is a large mannequin wearing a wedding dress and veil. Julia inhales sharply. That's just creepy, she whispers. I don't want to touch it. Me neither, Tanisha whispers. Maybe we should get Mr. Evans. It's just a mannequin, I say. I look at Tanisha skeptically. She's normally the brave one out of my friends. And why are you whispering? She shrugs. She doesn't take her eyes off the mannequin. We step towards it slowly, and for some reason, I can't make my heart stop beating frantically in my chest. The mannequin is tall and slender, made of pure white porcelain. Its face is completely smooth, featureless, which makes it even more eerie behind its lace veil. The dress it wears is beautiful and ornate, though definitely old. The hems are frayed and ragged, and it looks dusty and tan rather than pure white. Something about it just seems sad. There's something at the base, a little play guard resting on the stand the mannequin poses on. For some reason, it makes me pause. Maybe this isn't just a leftover. Maybe this was some sort of display, one that's been hidden from the public for a while. I crouch down and try to make out the words, but I can barely read them in the gloom. There are newspapers pasted to the sign. I can make out the headlines, Terrible Tragedy and Missing Bride. I peer in closer, squint, and try to make out the words. Local bride drowns herself in lake. Mourning family creates counterfeit. A loud thud echoes from downstairs, and I flinch up to standing. I knock right into the mannequin bride as I do so. Careful, Julia yells. I reach out and grab the mannequin as fast as I can, but it's too late. Although I catch it by the arm, her head keeps falling, toppling off her shoulders. It seems to fall in slow motion. I watch it, heart paused. In my throat, I sense a sense of dread in my gut. It can't fall. It can't fall. Her head crashes to the ground, exploding in a million tiny shards of porcelain. Julia yelps. Even Tanisha makes a startled noise. I stand there, still holding the rest of the mannequin up, and stare at the remains of her head on the concrete. I don't know why, but the sight almost makes me sick. I glance over to the play card, to the photo I can barely make out, and the headline burned into my thoughts. Tragedy, tragedy, tragedy. I try to shake the dread from my bones. It's way too early on to get creeped out, and we have a lot of work to do. Dang it, I mutter, making sure the rest of the bride is stable when I let go. Now we had to clean this up. I hope we don't have to pay for it, Tanisha says. It feels like we already have, Julia whispers.